today I'm taking my longtail motor for a test drive. It's got 2 motors on it, 2 6.5 horsepower motors. They weren't running very well, but I thought I'd try it out anyway. It's pretty steep descent into this river here, bit of a struggle to get in. No one else rides their boats in here, but I guess this is why. One of the motors was leaking fuel out of the carburetor. I think the float was stuck and filling the cylinder up. You'll see when I first start up, a heap of unburnt fuel comes out the top exhaust. Yeah, there's a lot of rocks in this river and it's not very deep, so I'm hoping I get far. So it's running pretty well straight away. Ran even better when I took the chokes off. It was going plenty fast enough. I've taken a normal boat up this river and I've only got as far as the bridge because there's a lot of rocks underneath there. But with this longtail motor I was hoping I'd get past it alright. It was easy. It was almost too fast. I sat down, kneeled down so I could get a bit more control, and I actually backed the throttle off a bit. I think somewhere around here it felt like one of the cylinders was dropping off power. I kind of wanted the power to get over the rapids, but it went up it really easily anyway. And the river was smooth like this for quite a while. Hit a big rock here. Put a bit of a ding in the bottom of the boat, but not too bad. And up these rapids you could really see the boat just bounced up the rocks really easily. And the longtail had plenty of propeller in the water, easily pushed it up. So coming up now you can just see there's that black pipe. This is what I hit on the way back down. So coming up here is a small waterfall in a minute, and decided to turn around. I thought the motor wasn't running properly. After looking at it, I think I could have got up the left hand side with a bit of a run up, but I knew something was up with the motor, so I figured I'd just turn around, at least see what's wrong with the motors. Also thinking about putting some plastic on the bottom of the boat so you can scrape up the rocks easier. Here I let the engine stall. I thought I'd just drift for a while. The river's flowing pretty fast. I try to pull start it here, but I can see that the motors aren't coupled together anymore. So starting the back motor won't start the front one, the propeller won't turn, so it's pointless to have it running. I thought I'd be able to steer it down here with a longtail, but it didn't work out so good. So yeah, water was coming in the boat here. Had a little bit of a freak out, but pushed it off easy enough. camera hit the branches here and got messed up. Pointing up at the sky, but not much happened anyway. Just drifted down the river basically. It took about half an hour because I was quite far up there. Then it came time to pull it back out. I had a plan of tying my ute to it and using it to pull it out, but it's only 2-wheel drive, so I had a bit of a trouble with this as well. Took the motor off because it was too much weight. I had another go. So this is pretty much the end of the test part of the video. Keep watching if you want to see me making up this monstrosity of a longtail. So here's the first motor bolted up. You can see where it bolts there. Those two go through that part and it hangs off the front a bit. And the other one is slotted. Now I've just put a 19mm socket on the end of this motor, which is a taper drive motor off a generator. So hopefully it twisting on that nut won't undo it or something. I might have to Loctite that nut or even weld it. So I can't believe it, it actually works first try. I just took it outside here to do some photos for Instagram. But what happened is it undone the nut, and this is loose now, and also the seal popped out, so there's oil dripping out. So I've got to hook up the throttles and that, sort that out, maybe weld the nut on, and I'll be away. Okay, so I've welded that nut still so it can't undo anymore, and I've just put a stitch on this socket here so it shouldn't slip now. So where I'm at now is I have got a T-piece hooked into both carburetors, and I made this other pipe that sort of follows the other one down. Not really follows it, and just made a shortcut because I couldn't be bothered. So I've got to weld that up tomorrow and maybe run the fuel. So hopefully I'll be able to get it running. So I've taken these motors apart to investigate what's going on here. So what had happened, this nut that I welded on snapped the shaft. So yeah, that's going to be hard to fix, but anyway, I'm kind of losing interest in these double motors. I might go back to the 2-stroke that I got down here. I'll show you that next time. So I got a bit carried away. I took the whole other motor setup off, and I might run this 2-stroke again and change the carburetor. It's got one of these weird carburetors like a chainsaw has, and I might just put a normal motocross bike carburetor on it, see if I can tune it a bit better. Oh, that's it till next time. See ya.